Is that? Oh, can you hear me? Hello, everybody. We're going to get started. I just want to take this time to thank everyone for coming today. My name is Shaka White. I am the former president of Student Congress and current member of the Student Leadership Advisory Council, and this is Emily Smitter, president of Campus Activity. Doesn't she look great today? Me, on the other hand, if they tell me that the theme is superheroes, guess what? That's what you get. We're going to be the mistresses of ceremonies this afternoon, and on behalf of GRCC, we would like to welcome you to the 2013 Student Leadership Banquet. Today, we are here to recognize students, faculty, and staff who show exemplary leadership on campus and in the community. We would like to recognize everyone for their hard work and dedication throughout the year. We've had a wonderful year with many accomplishments, and we couldn't have done it without the talented faculty, staff, and students. Before we get started, we would like to recognize our board member in attendance, Chairperson Richard Verberg. To kick off the program, we will show our student involvement tribute video produced by Brett Atwood in the GRCC Media Department.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Talent Schmalent, the Student Life Edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of Talent Schmalent. Tonight we have GRCC student organizations competing head-to-head to see who's got the most talent, and I have to say the competition is looking fierce.
You said it, Lou. I can only imagine what these students will bring to the table.
But I bet we're going to see connecting, growing, and succeeding at its finest.
So without further ado, let's present our first group, Campus Activities. Let's see how high they set the bar.
We are Campus Activities.
And we party!
Do you see a bar, Lee? Because I can't.
Still don't see a bar, Lou. But I'll tell you, they made that look easy. Such finesse.
But the question is it reachable? Let's give our next contestants a try, the Christian Fellowship. Give them a hand, everybody.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Lee, I think we're in for one heck of a show.
We are Standout Gangster Alliance, and we have a magic trick for you.
That was amazing!
They sure Houdini'd me, Lee.
We are GRCC Cares, and we're building a pyramid.
They've come together more than the cast of Survivor.
Hi, we're InterVarsity Grand Rapids, and we love meeting new people and drinking coffee with them, which means we drink coffee really fast now.
My tongue hurts looking at them, Lee.
We're the Fashion and Design Club, and we'll make you and your home look great.
We are the Biodiversity Club.
And I am juggling.
And we have judgmental animals.
Such a waste of good nutritional food.
Oh.
What a downgrade. Look at that Johnny Appleseed over there.
Okay.
Look at his eyeballs. Look at him. Look at his eyeballs.
I want to see those cold-blooded cuties in my next Hollywood blockbuster.
Sleeping on a park bench is extreme relaxation, like that crookedest, curviest road in San Francisco. I've never felt warm rain, but any company can be at times. I never seen a dog sing with squirrels and chipmunks as the backup vocals. As the strings, it adds the brass, and the wind gives it all a ring. Whether park bench is Mount Zion, I lay there a king.
When our friends talk about you, all it does is tear me down. 'Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like, ooh, ooh, too young, too dumb to realize that I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have give you all my hours when I had the chance. From the old razzle-dazzle, razzle-dazzle. How can they see with sequins in their eyes? Razzle-dazzle them, and they'll never catch wise.
We're the GRCC College Democrats, and we approve this message.
We campaign, we organize, we win. We are the change. Come, affect the future.
They connect, they grow, they succeed.
Extreme.
Mami, no me hagas eso. Sabes que te quiero.
I have found the best version of that song.
We're dental assistants and we brush teeth.
And do the Harlem Shake.
Well, that ends another exciting show. Join us next week on Talent.
Aren't we gonna announce the winner?
I can't do that, Lee, because on Talent Schmalent, everyone's a winner.
What do you mean everyone's a winner?
Everyone's a winner, Lee. Just don't make a big thing out of it. Just
What
go with
about
it.
the grand prize?
This doesn't matter about the grand prize.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
Please help me to show our appreciation for all Brett did to produce this video. Beginning tomorrow, it will be uploaded to YouTube at GRCC TV if you want to watch it again.
It is my distinct pleasure to call to the stage Dean of Student Affairs and Associate Provost Tina Hoxie. She is passionate about her work that she does, and she is dedicated to helping students achieve their academic, personal, and career goals. Without further ado, please help me welcome Dean Hoxie to the stage.
Thank you. This is always a pleasure to be here and to have the opportunity to just give some opening remarks to kick off what really is generally the culmination of our academic year, with commencement very near in our future. Today's event really is about tradition, it's about celebration, it's about community, and it's about superheroes, right? I've got to tell you that when I looked at the theme and I began to think about superheroes, what came to mind for me was Underdog. Does anybody remember Underdog? All right. Now, as a child, this was a 60s syndicated cartoon, and I must have watched it a lot, because immediately the music started to go through my head, and I could hear that "Never fear, Underdog is here." I heard it right away. And Underdog was a mild-mannered canine that turned into this helping, caped superhero. And it was after the dog stepped into a telephone booth. Now, when I had that image, I think many of you probably never have had an opportunity to step into a telephone booth because they don't exist anymore. But there's this transformation of this powerful little pup that then went out and saved the world or saved someone and defended and made what was wrong and made it right. And then had that slogan of "Never Fear, Underdog is Here." And certainly for many, we think of contemporary versions, and we've seen those, some of the cutouts of those as we came in today. And that might be, Spider-Woman or Spider-Man or Batman or Batwoman. And today I was talking with a student. I said, well, what superhero do you remember? And the student, I remember the Wonder Twins. They had these rings and they put them together. And I thought, okay. I started to go on and on about that. But again, there are things that leave an impression in our minds, whether it's something that we're watching, something that we're seeing, or something we're involved in. And that's really what we're here and what today is about. It's really, when you think of a superhero, the fictional hero is really something that's extraordinary or has these superhuman powers. And today, the leadership that's going to be recognized has some of those similarities. When you think about it, it's about being willing to take risks. And for many of you, you've done that in many ways, and we'll hear about those today. Now, Justin, I think you took a big risk on that video. I'm thinking right there, that did it. But it's not being afraid to put yourself out there and to become involved and to bring forward and develop what your exceptional talents and your exceptional skills are. But most importantly, it's about leading the way. I like to think of leadership, and I see it happen, and I've been at GRCC 20 years, and I consider it a privilege and an honor to be able to engage with students every single day. Students start and end in very different spots. And, for us, it's about starting in college, it's about persisting, and it's about completing. And for many of you in the room today, you will be completing, and we hope that you participate in our ceremony and you celebrate that. But it's about building momentum. It's about stepping out. It's about not watching, but it's about taking action. And whatever that call to action that has been for all of you, you've made a choice. You've decided not to stand on the sidelines. Instead, you've decided to step up and do something, and whether that be through an athletic team, through service, by being one of our exceptional student employees and making an impression on other students, whether it's been through a club and organization, or academically in the classroom. You've brought talents that you've shared with our faculty and staff and with other students, and we're very proud of you. We're very proud of what you've done and want to celebrate that. Transforming, and that's what Underdog did when he stepped into, and that's what all those superheroes do, don't they? And I think, Shaka, you're a little transformed today, too. You've got the Superwoman shirt on, and certainly you've transformed many things in your experience and the things you've done here, too. But you do transform as a person, and I hope that you take some time to reflect. I know if I ask your advisors today and staff that you've come in contact with, they see the transformation in you by stepping up in the things that you've done. But be proud, especially proud of that, because you've reached a goal. So in closing, today is about recognizing, but the other thing I want to do is I want to challenge each and every one of you to continue to be a superhero. And that may take you far away from GRCC. That might place you right in the Grand Rapids community. But we need all of you to transform what our future is going to look like. And I know all of you are capable. The question is, bring to it the talents that I know and the abilities that you have, that you've learned at GRCC, or maybe you brought and transferred something at our college. The other piece that I leave you with, transformation and being a superhero does not have a size attached to it. It's not about the small or large contribution. It's about the contribution that you can make, and all of you can do that. The other piece I think that I notice when you watch a movie, and every year there's a there's a movie that comes out that we often go see, but it's about paying attention. You can go through life, you can go through college and not pay attention. And that's one experience. The other experience is that you all have had and you share in common today, and that is that you have paid attention and you've made a difference and you've started something, and we thank you for that. And lastly, it's about maintaining and building your passion. And to me, that's very, very important. You hold that passion inside, you transform it, and you live it through other people, and you bring it so that it has meaning. And I'd like to just end with that and challenge all of you to continue to take that passion, pay attention, don't measure what the size of that contribution is, just take action and make a contribution, and continue to share the talents that I know you've shared at GRCC. So, I'll close with this. Never fear, GRCC superheroes are here. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Dean Hoxie. I am pleased to begin our award program at this time. I would ask that all of our presenters and award recipients please enter the stage to my left and exit to my right. The first award is the Outstanding Biology Student of the Year Award. I would now like to introduce Dr. Gregory Forbes, faculty member in the Biological Sciences Department, who will be presenting the first award of this afternoon. Please help me welcome Dr. Forbes to the stage.
First of all, it gives me a great honor to be the first presenter here because I'm told I have 30 minutes, was it, to do this? Because you get to take the time. And of course, everybody can follow and stuff. But actually, it's wonderful because I could use 30 minutes to try and present the qualifications of our candidate, in fact, our nominee and our awardee, Brent Folsom, this year for the Biology Student of the Year. In fact, each year in our department, it becomes kind of a challenge to see who's going to come up with the best candidate for the award. And of course, not that academics are competitive, but I know each department meeting we present these awards, everybody thinks you have the ringer, you know, that I'm going to get my student this year. And this year, I didn't have to look very far. I looked at Brent's qualifications, and he'd been in a couple of my courses and thought, I've got it this year. There's nobody that can come close to this. And in fact, that's actually how it went in the department. I went around and door to door and said, look at this gentleman's qualifications. And there was no recourse. I did it. Thank you. Okay, I look good because of you this year, so thank you very much. But when we try and select who's going to be the Biology Student of the Year, we're looking not just for academic accomplishments. We're looking for contributions and accomplishments that make you a whole person, that make you a contributor to your profession and the field that you're going into. And Brent met those qualifications in every single category. In fact, he's definitely the Renaissance man. When you listen to some of his qualifications here, it's just amazing, because I think that when you have talent, when you have experience, when you have expertise, it's our goal and our joy to share that with people in the community, and that's what he's done. Right now, he works as a volunteer mentor for the Science Club at Grand Rapids City Middle High School, and here he helps students get involved in science, how to analyze data, how to get excited, to get that zeal in them, to understand that this is a career that maybe I've never chosen before, or considered before, that maybe this is something I want to do. He's also a tutor here at GRCC, which we only choose our best students to be tutors. But he wears a lot of hats. He's not only a tutor in math, he's a tutor in biology, he's a tutor in chemistry, he's a tutor in English, and of course, just to put the icing on the cake, he throws in economics also. So one-stop shopping. I'm trying to get your pay commensurate with your qualifications. We're working on that. He's also certified as a level 2 pharmacy technician. He is also he was a corrections officer for 2 years up in Montcalm County. And he was an operations sergeant and infantry team leader in the U.S. Army, where he actually supervised the training. Thank you. He actually he supervised training for 200 soldiers, and he led soldiers in direct combat missions. In addition to that, he currently is an analytical chemist intern, and you ready? Drum roll, a certified pet therapy handler. Okay? So, truly the Renaissance man. When you look at honors here, he's received the GRCC Hope College Research Scholarship in chemistry. He's on the GRCC President's List, fall 2011 to present. The SSP Grant, 2012. Michael Flanagan Memorial Scholarship, 2012. Are we getting the theme here? Hanson Environmental Scholarship, 2012. Ann Miller Health Scholarship, 2012. Army Commendation Medal, 2006 and 2008. Army Achievement Medal, 2007. Good Conduct Medal, 2007. It's been a good 5 years for him. And not only that, to show that he was academically motivated, while he was in service overseas, he began online courses overseas and achieved a 4.0 while defending our country. Pretty impressive. And to add compliment to all those incredible accolades, he has now already completed 56 units here at GRCC with a total GPA of 4.0. So is he the biology student of the year, the decade, the century? I was hoping I had a daughter that he could marry, but then on top of that, I just met his beautiful fiance. The man has everything, good looks, a full head of hair, and a great brain. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to ask Professor and Music Department Head Kevin Dobrif to come to the stage to present the Academic Achievement Awards in Music.
Thanks so much. I've asked my assistant Kathy Cole-House to come up and help with the awards and pass those out. You'll have to excuse my voice today, so I probably won't talk too much because I have a little cold, and I apologize. Let me tell you a little bit about these two awards that we're going to present today. We have 4 students. 2 will receive each of the awards. The first one is the Emerging Music Student Academic Leadership Award. I'd like to read the criteria. This award is designed to recognize emerging student leaders in the music department. Nominees must have been involved with the music department for a minimum of 2 and no more than 3 semesters while contributing to the music department as leaders. This award recognizes current initiative and contributions as well as future potential. The nominees must be a current GRCC music major, be active and involved in a major ensemble, contribute to the success of the ensemble in ways that exceed musical performance, seek to assist and encourage other students in their musical growth, have distinguished themselves in academic performance, and they must have a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.0. We have 2 students today who are going to be receiving these awards. The first is Carl Kukowski. Carl is a recording technology major with an emphasis in guitar performance. So not only is he an excellent musician on the guitar, as attested to by Bryan Morris, who is his guitar instructor, Carl will be traveling this weekend to Illinois. Is that correct, Carl? Well, he'll be participating in the Mid-American Guitar Ensemble Festival. He'll be playing there as a participant and performing with hundreds of other guitar majors from across the country. As a recording tech major, Carl tutors those students who are in recording tech who are struggling with some of their classes. He also tutors theory. And because of these specific credentials that Carl brings, we'd like to award him the Emerging Music Student Academic Leadership Award. Carl, congratulations. Thank you. The second student who will be receiving the Emerging Music Student Award is Rosalie Baxter. Rosalie came to us as, I guess we would call her a non-traditional student. She has some significant life experience, and she brings that to the department, which manifests itself in a way that you wouldn't necessarily expect. She serves as somewhat of a calming force for some of the younger students. She's taken a number of them under her wing to tutor them in a number of different subjects, but most importantly, through the life lessons that she has had. And we've found that she is a stabilizing force for many of the younger music majors, especially those voice majors. Rosalie is a voice major. And we've found that has been exceptional. And because of that, and because of her skill in the classroom and in the practice room, and her leadership in the ensembles, that we would like to award Rosalie Baxter the Emerging Music Student Academic Leadership Award. Congratulations. The next award is called the Distinguished Music Student Academic Leadership Award. This award is designed to recognize students with distinguished service or achievement that demonstrably benefits the music department at Grand Rapids Community College. Such distinguished service should be a pattern of exemplary service over the student's years at Grand Rapids Community College and exceed the normal duties of any positions he or she may hold, for example, above and beyond the call of duty. Nominees should have at least 4 semesters or more of participation in a major ensemble, and the student nominees must be a current music major. They must demonstrate passion for musical performance. They must be active and enrolled in any GRCC ensemble. They must have distinguished themselves, showing leadership as a music librarian, a music tutor, a lab monitor, or in service learning, and other possibilities not identified here. They must demonstrate intellectual curiosity and scholarship in the fields of music theory and musicology. They have distinguished themselves in academic performance, and they must have a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.0. This semester, we have 2 students who will be receiving the Distinguished Leadership Award, and they are Sarah Apel and Eli Snyder. I'd like to read to you their nomination, if I can find it. The nominations were submitted by both Dr. Carol Van Ranwyck and Dr. Deborah DeWitt. They stated that they would like to nominate Sarah Apel and Eli Snyder for the Academic Leadership Award. They have nominated these 2 for, I should quote, both Sarah and Eli are exemplary students in music history with excellent classroom contributions and outstanding work. Sarah and Eli both took it upon themselves to organize student recitals at a local retirement home. This is now in its 4th semester, and without their dedication and leadership, it wouldn't have happened. This event began with Sarah's idea and leadership, and Dr. DeWitt's nominal assistance, as she says, in facilitation, and Eli's leadership. Now all I do is drive, as Deborah would say. They do everything else. Both of these students have exemplified themselves as musicians and scholars in the Grand Rapids Community College Music Department, and I would like to honor both of them with the Distinguished Academic Leadership Award for Music. Sarah, congratulations. Thank you very much.
It is my pleasure to announce the next presenters who will deliver the Social Sciences Awards, which include the Lambda Epsilon GTU Geography Awards, Social Science Research Paper Competition Award, and the Elizabeth Knapp Scholarship Award. Please welcome Dr. Robert Hendershot and Dr. Lisa Glegg, faculty members in the Social Sciences Department.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Hendershot, and I'm a historian here at the Grand Rapids Community College, and it's my pleasure today to introduce some of our department's most excellent students. The first awards that I wanted to present go to our geography students. And normally, the presenter for this portion would be our department's geography professor, Michael DeVivo. But he truly regrets that he's not able to be here today, and fortunately he has provided me with a few words to say about our wonderful, outstanding geography students. So, the Lambda Epsilon Academic Service Award is presented this year to Allison Mabey, Heather Primble, and Nicole Ark. And I would like to welcome them to the stage at this time for the presentation of their awards. Oh, they're already here. Hi. So, in recognition of their valuable contributions to the discipline of geography, which has been evidenced by their service to the academic community at Grand Rapids Community College, each of these scholars is receiving multiple awards today. They are being presented with the Lambda Epsilon Global Citizenship Award in recognition of valuable contributions to global citizenship evidenced by scholarship and service. All three have been active in supporting the education of African girls. In sub-Saharan Africa, writes Professor DeVivo, 24 million girls can't afford to go to school. A girl may marry as young as 13 and has a 1 in 22 chance of dying in childbirth. 1 in 6 of her children will die before the age of 5. Research shows that if you educate a girl, she will, 1, earn up to 25% more and reinvest 90% in her family. 2, be 3 times less likely to become HIV positive over the course of her life. And 3, have fewer and healthier children who are 40% more likely to live past the age of 5. In the past 3 years, the Lambda Epsilon chapter here at the Grand Rapids Community College has raised enough money to send 20 girls in sub-Saharan Africa to school. And Allison, Heather, and Nicole have each done much to contribute to this effort through the sales of calendars, jewelry, t-shirts. Heather incidentally designed the t-shirts with the caption, "Education changes everything." I have one of those. Lastly, the Lambda Epsilon Leadership Award is presented to Allison Mabey. As president of this GTU chapter, Allison has demonstrated transformational leadership attributes in making things happen. Not only did she work to raise funds for African girls, she organized on her own the session on Hispanic education in Western Michigan at the recent Social Science, Race, Ethnicity, and Identity Conference. And she will be making a presentation at the annual conference of the California Geographical Society on how this model that she developed here at GRCC can be emulated in communities across the United States with sizable Latino numbers, arguing that public community-based conversation is as critical a means of addressing these kinds of issues locally and pushing past hot-button issues such as immigration and reform. Thank you, all three scholars, for making such a wonderful difference in our local community. Thank you and congratulations again. It is also my great pleasure today to announce the winners of this year's Social Science Department Student Research Paper Competition, which is a project that we initiated about 4 years ago now to reward excellence in the field of the social sciences in general, which includes history and political science and geography, as well as economics and anthropology. Any student who does a research project in the course of any one of our classes throughout the academic year is encouraged to submit their research paper to the annual competition. And at that point, then a panel of 4 to 5 professors from our department will blind review the papers and grade them. And through that process, we select 3. We select the first, second, and third place winner, and we hold them up as excellence, both for the students of this year, and their papers then can be used as a teaching tool for future students as well, right? For future students who come to GRCC who want to see what a top-notch research paper looks like, we have their winners from previous year's competitions on file. And really, what better way to show a student's academic prowess than through the project of the research paper? Perhaps no other project is a better example of an individual's commitment to their discipline, their academic talent, their skill, their dedication, and their own individual discipline, right, as they engage the crucial material of their coursework. The research papers that have won today are outstanding examples of not only research, but also analysis and argument, and an eloquent statement of how their research helps them to form important answers to crucial problems, past, present, and future. And so we're very pleased today to honor our three winners. The first place winner is Allison Henley, and her paper was produced for her sociology class, and it was titled A Sociological Perspective of Mental Illness, and was the first place winner in this year's competition. Unfortunately, she can't be here with us today, and so I will accept on her behalf. The second place position went to Angela Stoddard for her world history paper, which is a class I teach, called The Religious Power to Rule, a wonderful piece that used a variety of sources from the ancient world to show how elites used the concept of religion to manipulate populations. It was very well argued and took the second place award, and we have a certificate for Angela today. Our third place award goes to Christopher Madalena, who is here as well. And he also is a sociology student and also produced a wonderful paper that took the third place award, and his title was Why Society Copes with Tragedy Through Scapegoats. Once again, a very thoroughly researched and well-argued piece that is highly deserving of this award, so we congratulate him as well. Okay, and to present our last award for the social sciences is my colleague, Professor Lisa Glegg.
Thanks. I am delighted to be able to give this award today. We clearly have amazing students in the social sciences, and this is the Elizabeth Knapp Scholarship Award to one of our most exemplary students in the social science disciplines. So our award winner today is a student in economics, a favorite discipline of mine. And I think she has many of the qualities that make a superhero and also a really good student. She has tremendous natural ability. She is an incredibly hard worker, and she asks very good questions. And this is one of the best kind of students to have. Something that really sets Tina apart is that she has a vision for her future. She intends to major in economics, and her hope is to work in economic development, specifically with North Korea, which, if you're watching the news now, is something that we so desperately need superheroes to help with. So please join me in congratulating Tina Lee.
I would like to introduce Charlie Wells, Athletic Director and faculty member, to present the athletic awards.
It's an honor to be here once again, and once a Raider, always a Raider. And the rest of you, remember that. When you leave here, remember to come back and visit us, because you'll always be in our hearts and mind, and this is very important that we stay connected. One of the things that I want to talk about first is that this group of athletes that we are going to present to today have had an awesome 2 years experience here. They've won what we call the Michigan Collegiate Athletic Association Challenge Cup, which was started by an ex-staff member of ours, Charlie Channer. They won that award last year. It's all of the different sports throughout the state of Michigan, and they came out on top. They are off to another start this year and possibly repeating this award again. Our women's volleyball team this past year won a national title. They were 39-1 overall. If I could, for a moment, I would like the members of that team that we have with us today, if you would stand. I have the third member of that team over to the backside of my left side here, and what an awesome group of young ladies. If there was a group that I would love to clone, it would be that group. They were just unbelievable. I call them the cardiac kids because they went through the national tournament with giving me a heart attack in every match. And they showed no signs of stress on their face. And I remember Dean Hoxie and I sitting down in the stands and watching them go through their semifinals and the finals match, and it was like, oh my goodness, you're gonna give me a heart attack. I can't take this. And they stayed poised throughout the whole time. So what an awesome group. We also had another exceptional year with our basketball team, and they did another awesome job as well. They again returned to the national tournament this past year. It's the second year in a row. That's another feat that hasn't happened, and what an honor to be able to be represented as the top 16 schools in the country, and we were one of those 16. So I'm going to move on from here, and I'm going to get to the awards. And out of the first award, it's an academic award, and it's tough for athletes to balance and have time management with things because of the fact that we have our academics as the first and foremost, but then we also have, to balance our studies. And the first person that I'm going to present to on the Merle Storer Award itself is a young lady by the name of Danielle Goad. Danielle is a member of 2 different sports. She played on the basketball team, and if you would, I have members of our basketball team. If you could, ladies team, could you please stand? Another awesome group of young ladies that we had and this year, and freshmen, the ones that I see in the background here are freshmen, so we have them again for one more year. And Danielle Goad is the recipient of this award. Danielle Goad has maintained a 3.9 overall GPA throughout the 2 years that she's been here, and still managed to participate on 2 different sports. So with accepting this award, because Danielle is off playing softball, they're down at Jackson Community College, is my assistant, Jenny Klutz. I have an awesome person to introduce next, and he will hand out the first award. It is my basketball coach, TJ Carney. TJ is in his second year with us now, and his first year here, TJ took his team to the national tournament, and this year he took them as well. And we are just blessed to be able to have someone of his caliber to be able to work with our students and to be able to guide them and, again, mentor them as well. And he's done an awesome job thus far. So this next award is the Donald R. Black Award. It's an outstanding athletic award, and that award itself is again, Don was one of the supporters of this athletic program to the point to where he made sure that not only did the students succeed in the classroom, they succeeded on the athletic field as well. So I'm going to let Don Award go to TJ, and TJ is going to introduce the recipient of that.
Thank you very much, Charlie. I'm honored to be able to introduce Alex Mussert for any leadership award. I had a long speech prepared for you today about Alex, and when we were standing over there by the wall, he told me that he only put 75 cents in the parking meter outside, and he was worried about getting a ticket, so I said I'll do my part and try to make this quick for you, Alex. Alex was an all-conference basketball player for us this year. He was all-district, all-region, and as Mr. Wells mentioned, he helped lead us to the national tournament this year. He's the only sophomore on our team, and I was fortunate to be able to witness him lead and mentor some of our younger players this past season. He was a joy to be around. He'll definitely be missed. And, I'm not sure from my experiences, if people are born to be leaders, I think they have a lot of small victories along the way, and they're thrust into tough situations and have to work their way through it. And I think Alex definitely fits that mold. And I think, Alex, I hope this is one of the small victories for you along the way, because I believe that you have a lot of ability and leadership skills that will help the next school that you attend, the next team that you're on, in our community the rest of your life.
Well, this last person for the same award is, and I'm honored to be able to actually introduce this person, because this was a freshman that came in and was very special. And I say special from the standpoint of that leadership you could just see written all over the face. We had a group of freshmen that came in, and they ended up going to a national tournament and placing in the national tournament. And you could listen to the sidebars. We will be back here next year, and we will win it. To be confident, that confident in yourself, and to be that confident in the classroom, this next person is that person all over. And she was instrumental in leading this team for the past 2 years and guiding the young players that we had this year to get us to the level to where we were 39-1. And not only 39-1, but 3-point or higher in GPAs overall on this squad. So this young lady, without further ado, is Molly Maynard. And Molly is someone very special and dear to us. And her coach couldn't be here today. And I told him, don't worry, I would love to introduce her, because she's a young lady that I will always hold near and dear to my heart and to this athletic program as well. So without any further ado, the next award goes to Molly Maynard. This last award I have that I'm going to pass out goes to someone very, very special. Not everyone can be a part of that team, but those that are a part of it are an integral part of it. And we've got a machine that we've put together now, a staff that we've got together in our department that I don't know how we'd work without this person. This person is the type of person that shows leadership and will be willing to do whatever, however, whenever, and most of all is student driven. This person takes the time to give of herself to not only our students, but the rest of the student body. When some of our students were struggling in mathematics and sciences, this person would always step forward and say, well, I can do that. And I just look at her and say, well, we don't need one more thing on your plate, but okay. Because I knew that that person would take care of it. She also has been like unbelievable with helping with all aspects of the college as far as the pieces that we have to put together from our department. And to have her be a part of our program is something very special. And I hope that we can keep her around for a long time. And this last award is a Gordon Huntzberger Award, and it's a support staff role. And I can't think of a better person to award this to this year other than Jenny Clute, my assistant athletic director. Again, I'd like to thank you all for the privilege of being here. We are looking to do some really outstanding things up here coming up in the next few weeks. We've got some teams that are going to be qualifying and going forward, and hopefully we'll be able to get that trophy again and bring it back to Grand Rapids once again. I thank you all very much.
At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Danielle Goad, Director of Food Service, to the stage to present the Creative Dining Services Awards.
Come on up. Good afternoon. Before I present the scholarship award this year, I would like to introduce my executive chef, Miss Nancy Rutledge, who would like to say a few words about this year's recipient.
Thank you, Dan. This is my 8th year of being in charge of student workers in dining services. That part of my job is what keeps me coming back to my job every year. The kids are far and away the best part of what I do. Our recipient this year is a prime example of what we exemplify in dining services. We are a service. We're here to serve you. We're here to make you happy. Kelly is that bright, smiling, sunshiny face that you see every single morning, 7 a.m. when you walk in the Quiet Cafe for your coffee. She's your girl. She always has a smile. She always asks about you. She remembers what you like. She's what we're about. So we're really excited to be able to present this award to her this year. Kelly?
Thank you. Each year, my colleagues and I have the distinct honor, like Nancy mentioned, of selecting one of our outstanding student employees to receive the Creative Dining Scholarship Award. This year's recipient is a true reflection of the quality of individuals that attend this institution. Not only is this individual passionate about the job she does, but passionate about the college she represents on a daily basis. Her drive, sincerity, honesty, and integrity are evident in everything that she does. A food service career can be extremely demanding. It takes true passion and dedication. Campus dining is extremely selective when hiring employees for this very reason. When interviewing applicants, there are various benchmark qualities that must be met. Our employees come face to face with their peers, instructors, and the public daily. Campus dining strives for excellence in customer service, going above and beyond our customers' expectations. This employee not only embraces that goal, but executes it with every single customer. There was no argument this year when selecting a candidate that we felt met all the criteria needed. This employee in our minds is the core representation of what campus dining is all about. As a student of the Secchia Institute for Culinary Education and future competition for all culinary professionals, please help me in congratulating this year's recipient of the Creative Dining Scholarship Award, Ms. Kelly Burton. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Peg Schoenborn, faculty member in the business department, to the stage to present the Outstanding GRCC Business Professionals of America Award.
Good afternoon. Again, I am Peg Schoenborn. I'm an assistant professor of business here at Grand Rapids Community College, and I have the honor of serving as the advisor to the GRCC Business Professionals of America chapter, better known as BPA. BPA is one of the most nationally recognized career and technical education technical and education organizations in the United States for both secondary and post-secondary students. This year we have over 43,000 active members in the United States. In only its second year here at GRCC, our membership has grown by 50% over what we saw last year. This year we had 32 active members. 26 of them proceeded on to the state competition in February, which was hosted at Davenport University. And of our 26 competitors, 21 of them placed in either a first, second, or third place finish overall in the state. Today, I am proud to honor 5 of our BPA outstanding members. As a side note, our top 12 members are also, top 12 competitors have also been invited to the national competition, which will be hosted in Orlando, Florida, coming up here in a few weeks in May. Our 5 outstanding BPA members stand here before me, with the exception of one who was called into an afternoon shift this afternoon. And I would like to acknowledge Ms. Sam C. And Samantha is a second-year BPA member. She placed third in basic office systems and serves as our chapter secretary. Next, I would like to acknowledge Miss Kathy Davey. Kathy is an office administration major here at Grand Rapids Community College and placed in 3 events at our state competition. Kathy took first place in both office administration team event and basic office systems, as well as took second in fundamental word processing. Kathy will move on to the national competition with us in May. And the 2 I have left here are who I'm going to refer to as my dynamic duo. This is Mr. Corwin Tobias and Miss Alexi Bettig, and they formed half of our video production team. And our video production team took first in the state. It is a very competitive event. And as an interesting side note, we placed first in this area last year as well, and Lexi was also part of that team last year. Lexi also placed first in our digital media production event, and Corwin placed first in entrepreneurship, which is the most competitive event at the state competition. And they will both move forward to our national competition in May.
Next up, I would like to introduce Ross L. Pike, also a member of the Student Leadership Advisory Council, also known as SLAC, to present the STAR Awards.
As most of you know, our Student Congress disbanded this past fall. The Student Leadership Advisory Council, known as SLAC, was then formed to work on restructuring our student government. In the past, Student Congress had awarded the You Rock Award to members of Student Congress to acknowledge their hard work and dedication to both their organization and Student Congress as a whole. SLAC wanted to make sure that we took time today to acknowledge all of the student clubs and organizations for their efforts and patience this year during our restructuring process. This journey hasn't been a simple one, and we thank each and every one of you for your willingness to step up. Please join me in recognizing and thanking all of our members of student organizations for their contributions this year. SLAC decided to reinvent the You Rock Award into a recognition that will reward and create an opportunity to all of our student organizations. It was designed to acknowledge all of our students who exerted traits of leadership, as well as our devoted significant time and energy to the mission of their organization. The criteria for this award was simple: to be a member of a student organization. There was no GPA requirements or essays to be submitted. Today, we will be recognizing the 11 nominees and ultimately the 3 winners of the STAR Award. It is an honor to be here to present this award, having known nearly all of the nominees personally and working alongside all of the winners over the past year. The group we are about to see on stage, actually you're going to be coming right in front of the stage, are some of the most willing and charismatic student leaders on our campus. So, will the following students please come forward not onto the stage, right in front of the stage, to receive their certificate of nomination. From the Campus Activities Board, Elizabeth Barba. From the Stand Out Gay Straight Alliance, Aaron Betka. From the Campus Activities Board, Kendra Jones. From the Black Student Union, Mary Kennedy. From College Democrats and the Foreign Affairs Club, Elise Calenda. From Phi Theta Kappa, Jeffrey Knoll. From the Collegiate Student Newspaper, Chris Powers. From the Campus Activities Board, Juan Reyna. From Psi Beta, Sarah Ryder. From the Campus Activities Board, Emily Smitter. From the Collegiate Student Newspaper, Greg Wycliffe. Please help me in congratulating all of these nominees. It is now my pleasure to introduce the 3 recipients of this year's STAR Award in no particular order. Our first winner is a full-time and architectural design student who works 2 jobs. She first joined student organizations from spending much of her time in student life and wanted to show her school spirit. After serving as a general member in campus activities for 1 year, she was elected to the position of secretary. And this week was elected to the position of Campus Activities Board Office Manager for next year. Please join me in congratulating Elizabeth Barba. Our second recipient's nomination began with telling of a story of how she is truly unforgettable. Having worked with her myself, I have seen how she touches lives and leaves an impression. She joined a student organization this year that was in need of a leader and was more than willing to step up. Her love, passion, and drive is something that radiates and is felt by everybody she collaborates with. Please join me in congratulating the president of Standout, Erin Betka. Our final recipient was nominated on behalf of 2 student organizations. Her nomination told of how her willingness to serve and step up is felt throughout both organizations. She is currently dually serving as the secretary and the treasurer of Foreign Affairs Club, and last semester became the communications director of College Democrats. An example of when her dedication is clearly evident is when the Foreign Affairs Club needed to choose a head delegate to head up their Model Arab League conference this spring. The decision was absolutely unanimous to elect her. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Elise Kalenda.
Next, I would like to invite Kendra Jones, Vice President of Campus Activities, to the stage to present the Martin Luther King Jr. Award.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Award is presented to a current student at Grand Rapids Community College who exemplifies the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. through community involvement and campus service, seeking to bring change and to promote philosophy of Martin Luther King Jr. Will the following students please come to the stage to receive their certificate of nomination? Rolando Bocanegra, Mary Kennedy, Benjamin McClellan, Ross L. Pike, Sean Smith, and Chaka White. I'd say please help me in congratulating them, but you guys already did that yourself. High five. All right. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Martin Luther King Jr. Award recipient for 2013. The nominator for this individual indicated that the student is, quote, wise beyond their years and is an amazing young man. They also mentioned that this individual embodies the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. by striving for personal excellence while working tirelessly to enhance the opportunities for others. In this student's essay, the individual wrote, if there is one thing I have learned that I will always stand out from the late Dr. King, it is that the greatest motivation for change comes from the greatest dissatisfaction of the way things are. I am conscious of the fact that I alone cannot make a great change in society, but through the power of brotherhood and community, any obstacle can and will become overcome. This individual is an active participant in the TRIO Student Support Services Program, the president of the Hispanic Student Organization, and is a strong advocate for immigration reform. Please help me in congratulating Rolando Bocanegra as the 2013 Martin Luther King Jr. Award recipient.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Hope Cronkright, member of the Student Leadership Advisory Council, to present the nominees for the Benim Service and Civic Engagement Award.
The Benim Service and Civic Engagement Award is presented to a current student at Grand Rapids Community College who has been actively involved and has shown leadership in service and civic engagement activities. The student must also have a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher. Will the following students please come to the front of the stage to receive their certificate of nomination? Aaron Betka, Danielle Harrison, Ross L. Pike, Julio Reyes Lopez, Travis Sluter, and Sean Smith. Please join me in congratulating these nominees. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Benim Service and Civic Engagement Award recipient for 2013. The nominator for this individual mentioned, quote, "I have not seen a single student on this campus demonstrate as much passion and dedication toward bettering our campus and community." Another individual wrote, "His service and experience in working with the community is phenomenal, particularly in leadership." In this student's essay, the individual wrote, "Through hard work and always being willing to go to the extra mile, I was able to become the youngest country chair ever elected in Michigan when I was 18 years old. I was determined to encourage our youth to be involved and am ready to speak on behalf of the future that we will inherit. The future is ours, and it's time we be proactive and fight injustice. I am often reminded of a quote by Lily Tomlin. Somebody should do something about that. Then I realized I am somebody." This individual is an active member in the following student and community organizations: College Democrats, Student Leadership Advisory Council, Women's Issues Now, Campus Activities, GRCC Cares, Stand Out, and the Kent County Democratic Party Executive Committee. Please help me in congratulating Ross L. Pike as the 2013 Benim Service and Civic Engagement Award recipient.
I would like to invite Juan Reyna, Treasurer of Campus Activities, to the stage to present the nominees for the Cedric Ward Leadership Award.
The Civic Ward Leadership Award is presented to a current GRCC student who demonstrates outstanding leadership skills throughout the community or the college and must have a minimum cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher. Will the following students please come to the front of the stage to receive their certificate of nomination? Gabrielle Bachelera, Justin DeWalls, Audrey Coaster, Ross L. Pike, Chaka White, Aaron Betka, Danielle Harrison, Keith Lennon, Travis Slaughter, Mariah Williams, Brianna Cook, Alexandria Jones, Cynthia Molnar, and Sean Smith. Please help me and congratulate these nominees. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Cedric Ward Leadership Award recipient for 2013. The nominator for this individual role, he richly goes above and beyond the minimum requirements and see his projects through. He's a dedicated leader who is willing to get in the trenches with his team and drives it to improve as a reporter. Write and editor for the benefits of his reader. I salute the effort he has made this academic year as he has exceeded my expectations despite all challenges he's faced. In this student's essay, The individual wrote, "It is my third and final year of Grand Rapids Community College. Looking back, I have really enjoyed my time here and everything I have done. This year, I had the privileges of being named the editor-in-chief of the collegiate. Though my plan was to transfer this past winter semester, decided to stay at GRCC for the year when I was named the editor-in-chief, so I can continue serving students by covering the campus community. Please help me in congratulating Justin Duos as the 2013 Civic Leadership Award recipient."
It is my pleasure to introduce Sarah Dorr, Director of Student Life and Conduct. Sarah will present the nominees for the Jerry Benim Award for staff and faculty, as well as the nominees for the Bryan Clute Student Leadership Award. These are the last two awards of this afternoon's program.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you again for being here. Before I present the next two awards, I would like to take a minute and acknowledge Jerry and Jan Benim, who are in the audience with us today. Can you stand up for us, please? We want to thank them for their continued support to recognize leadership on our campus. It's because of donors like the Benims that we are able to offer scholarships with each of these campus-wide awards that we are presenting today. Just so that you know, the Martin Luther King Award, the Cedric Ward Leadership Award, the Cedric Ward Leadership Award, and the Jerry Benim Award for faculty and staff all come with a $100 scholarship. The Benim Service and Civic Engagement Award comes with a $250 scholarship, and the Bryan Clute Student Leadership Award will come with a $500 scholarship. So we again thank all of our donors who contribute to these scholarship fundings. Thank you. The Jerry Benim Award is given annually to a staff or faculty member who actively supports students and acts as a mentor and role model for leadership development. These award winners are advocates for our students. They willingly give selflessly of their time and resources. They work to develop and encourage our students' thoughts and ideas, and they always display a positive attitude. Will the following staff and faculty please come to the front of the stage to receive your certificate of nomination? Laura DeVries, Lynn Jansen, Vicky Maxa, Thomas Niels, Peg Schoenborn, Brent Spittler, and I know that Karen Walker was not able to be here with us today, but we'll acknowledge her as well. All right, as they're making their way, it is my pleasure to introduce the recipient of the Jerry Benim Award for staff and faculty. The nominator for this individual wrote the following: "She plays a vital role in mentoring students both in and out of the classroom. She works tirelessly to advance students' knowledge in their chosen career path. She has integrated many curricular improvements. These including helping students secure internships as well as bringing in industry representatives for mock interviews. Her advocacy for student development does not stop with GRCC. Last summer, she worked with OAI-SD to develop I Challenge You, a program for high school students in which they are immersed with a company to innovatively solve a real-world problem. Simply put, she rocks. Please help me in congratulating Peg Schomborn as the 2013 recipient of the Jerry Benim Award for Staff and Faculty. Okay, and last but definitely not least, the Bryan Clute Student Leadership Award is presented to students who are active and involved in student activities and campus life. These students have established a cross-college interest in campus life and community service and have been helpful in promoting the overall college experience through outstanding citizenship. The student must have a minimum cumulative GPA of a 2.75 or higher. Will the following students please come to the stage? We'll do the front of the stage again for this one, to receive their certificate of nomination. Aaron Becca. Rolando Bocanegra. Justin Dawes. Caitlin Gears. Alexandra Jones. Ross Pike, Travis Sluter, Sean Smith, Emily Smitter, and Gregory Shane Terry. This is the highest honor that we give to student leaders on our campus, and I'd like to congratulate all of these nominees on their major accomplishment this year. Please help me acknowledge all of them. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Bryan Clute Student Leadership Award recipient for 2013. The nominator for this individual wrote, "She has been very active on the college campus since she enrolled in fall of 2011. She has participated with many student organizations as well as the TRIO Student Support Services Program. She is a great student and is committed to earning her degree here and then transferring to Grand Valley State University. She is involved in many cross-college event programming and planning activities such as Welcome Week, Raider Rally, Club Day, a variety of student panels, and has served as a student ambassador for 2 years in a row." In the student's essay, she recalled her experience as a student ambassador and wrote the following: "By far, this has been one of my most favorite jobs on campus. I get to interact with new students who most of the time have lots of questions and are scared out of their minds, which is exactly where I was 2 years ago. I have grown so much through my time here, and I have fallen in love with GRCC." She also wrote, "I can't wait until I am able to give back to GRCC the way that others have given to me. I love GRCC, and I could not picture redoing the last 2 years anywhere else. GRCC has become a second home for me. I am very proud to be a Raider, and I would not have it any other way." In addition to her student ambassador role, she serves as president of campus activities and vice president of GRCC Cares. Please help me in congratulating Emily Smitter as the 2013 Bryan Clute Leadership Award recipient. You guys can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Thank you all. As you can see, we have incredible students, staff, and faculty that have accomplished great things throughout this year. We'd like to thank all of our presenters, the faculty and staff who were able to join us today, as well as the many family members and friends who are here to support the accomplishments of our award nominees and recipients. We're so glad you could join us. We would also like to thank the JW Marriott staff for their contributions to helping this event become a success. Let's thank the JW Marriott staff. And finally, I'd like to share a personal thank you to Shaka and Emily for serving as our mistresses of today's ceremony, and to Evan Macklin and Liz Tyrell for pulling together a wonderful event for all of us. Let's thank them. We're so glad you could join us. For those of you who are leaders and will still be with us next year, we can't wait to see what awards you're nominated for next year. Go forth, have a wonderful afternoon, and we thank you again for all of your time.